Hello everyone, and this is an overview of 2025 and a little sneak peek of 2026. I just wanted to record this video so that we understand and orient ourselves in this time-space continuum. Don't mind the parrots because I'm in Australia. This is how cookie crumbles here. Parrots and a lot of noise. So let's decipher the noise, create a signal so that we know from where we're going, where we came from, and where we are going. Before Mercury hits retrograde, well, I'm going to break down every month into this little sound bites from January up until now. Then we're going to have a look at what November is all about, and then December, and then 2026, the great year that will be like that year where we finally let all our dreams hit us in the face with this explosion of energy, because Jupiter will be in Leo. I'm very excited about that. But again, South Node will also be in Leo. It's never perfect, is it? It's never perfect. If you're very savvy in astrology, good on you. If you're not, just listen to this as a entertainment stand-up comedy piece, because honestly, if you don't laugh, you cry. And if you don't cry, you laugh. So we're here to have a little chuckle about on this existential dread that was 2025, wasn't it? Okay, let's just begin with January 2025, kicked off with, interestingly enough, as it is now, Mercury just entered Sag. I'm recording this in November. Mercury is about to go retrograde in Sag, and we have started the year with Mercury in Sagittarius. We were feeling like the whole world is opening up. I'm going to achieve so many things. I'm going to these big strands, and I'm excited. I'm over all this long saga, like Pluto in Capricorn. It's over. We have like just amazing new era coming up, and what is it going to be? There's a lot of anticipation. There's a lot of restlessness. Just even looking at the chart here, we have on the 1st of January 2025, look at that, Mercury in Sag, big horizons opening up, and wow, Pluto opposing Mars, actually opposing Pluto. Mars moves faster than Pluto, and Mars was opposing Pluto while in retrograde. Remember that Mars retrograde in Cancer? So it went into Leo, gonna go back into retrograde, and this is that moment where, yeah, it's okay. Just the North Node, our evolutionary vector of development, our progressive, uncomfortable screwdriver that's pulling the cork out of what is known, is in Aries, and they are all trining Mars. So we want to do new things. We want to do things that are brave, and we haven't done that before. And now let's meditate. North Node is finishing in the Aries sign, and the South Node before January, it was like in Libra. So there was a year and a half of that, me versus others. Who are the people in my life? What do they bring into my life? And that uncomfortable moment of self-initiation, especially after a whole period, a long period, that even like from 2020, where I think we have just seen it all, right? And now we just want to see something new, but not necessarily about external life. Like we're still clinging onto the external life, but more so internally, individuated level, me. Where do I stand in all of this? What is my contribution to me? With the North Node in Aries sextiling Pluto, we are in January. We are not okay with the status quo. We're not okay. We want to alchemize the shit out of our life. Just nothing is good enough. It's got to be better. Aquarius, it wants to innovate. It needs to make it better, even better. Pluto in Aquarius is here first degree. It's not the anaretic degree anymore. It's not the 0 degrees. It's like the first degree. It will be backpedaling here throughout the year, but like this is the first jolt. I'm doing this. I remember me in January, I was posting not once a day, but 3 times a day. And I was like, this is it. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pump it. I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care about brand fatigue. I'm doing it. And guess what? I did it. And then I decided to take a break just recently because I was like, you know what? Maybe that's the innovation from the innovation. So what happened in your life that you were doing in January that was so new that then you decided, okay, I know what the pros and cons of that is. What is the negative side of that? Because you have tried it. You have innovated. You have tried it. You took a leap of, it's not even a leap of faith. It's just like a blunt punchline. And we are in November. Now you know what happens when you do that. I'm not saying that like it's super bad if you post 3 times a day, but like people definitely, I had to just see, maybe it's not quantity, maybe it's quality. All right. And maybe I don't want to be a slave to social media. I don't want to be a slave to the algorithm. I decided I want to be free. I want to be free from this crap. That's the innovation. You went from the truth to the truth of the truth that is the truth. That is your truth. And then it became even more elevated. It became like a universal truth. How you feel, that's what the most important thing. We have had on January 6th, look at Mars over here. January 6th, Mars entered Cancer, yeah. And that was like time has really slowed down during Mars retrograde. We went inward. We didn't know why we were crying, but we were really feeling the feels. Neptune is super slow. It's like hovering in the latest degrees of Pisces, just to leave Pisces in conjunct with Saturn a bit later. That's happening in February next year, 2026. But we still have a lot of that watery energy. And January, with that Mars retrograde, was that invitation to go back into your feelings, into your emotions. And I remember I was crying a lot in January, and the premonition actually, because my grandma had a stroke. And I was crying, but I was like, didn't know why. And I feel like my soul was preparing for this grief, for this emotional tsunami that I've never experienced in my life. A question to you: what happened during January that you started feeling more? What happened in January that you were coming to terms with inside of you, that was something that you could not control anymore or hold anymore, that you just had to leave this break the damp Mars in Cancer and break it and just watch the rubbish go. Watch the plastic bags float out into the ocean. I'm not promoting the plastic bags into the ocean, but you know what? It's like you say one thing and then it's like it starts to have a life of its own, like it's radioactive. I wish we were so in tune with our emotions as we are in tune with the words taken out of context. Yeah. So that was the beginning of that emotional journey for us in January. We had full moon in Cancer, January 13th, full moon in Cancer. That is the moment where we feel that Mars retrograding over into Cancer. That is the beginning of the work because of your emotions. It's not like we are just how we were maybe for over a decade with the Capricorn energy, the Pluto, like Pluto was in Capricorn. Now Pluto shed that shell. The structure is finished. All the baddies are in jail. Not all, but all of it was taken care of. The system is fresh. The system is restarted. And before, while Pluto was in Capricorn for years and years, since 2018, by the time it was getting out of Capricorn, like crawling out of that, like the girl in the ring with the hair down, we just didn't even know who we are. We just like slaves to the system. And now the system broke, and we are not slaves anymore. At least not in the. We're not doing because we have to. Understand? We're not doing it because we have to. We're doing it because we feel like we want to. We're doing it because we feel like we want to do it, because it's a bigger picture there with all this Piscean energy here. Now, oh yeah, North Node entered Pisces on the 12th of January, starting a new era for a year and a half. And we're still in it, guys. We're still in it. Where are we now? Yeah, we're halfway through. Still 9 months left. We're still in it. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of that watery, new watery premise, the scope. And that scope is held with our emotional state. If you are dragging your feet on your way to work, and that was always this thing that you had to do, now with that revolutionary feeling of little taste in the air, of this, I want to be free, like the freedom, the wanna-be freedom, it's still not there yet, but that wanna-be feeling, that's the beginning of it. That's the full moon in Cancer. All right. And this baby over here, Uranus in Taurus, is about to go direct, and it is not in the final degrees of Taurus yet, but it's, inching its way out of Taurus. And this year, 2025, was the first time when we had an epiphany of Uranus entering Gemini. As it is now in the sky, Uranus is, as we speak now, in Gemini, about to get back into Taurus. In January, it was in Taurus, good and nice and thick and heavy in Taurus. And it's been there for a while. Watch my video about Uranus last dip in Taurus. It's quite a good video. A link will be in the description for your sign. I just do it really fun for each sign. And yeah, Uranus is still there. We're still in that old life. Now we can say it's an old life. But for us in January, it was life. With a little bit of that fresh Aquarian air, with that emotion. We don't know what that retrograde Mars in Cancer is going to give us, but we are feeling the feels. We're feeling the feels, and we are defining our action as we feel. Like a girl on her period, a little bit. But for everybody. Yes, this is the facts. I'm not saying, but these are the facts. Women do have periods, right? Some of them. Okay, so 29th of January, there is a new moon in Aquarius. The new life is here, and it's like a jolt of energy, because at that time, Pluto and Mercury were together. Mercury was going over Pluto. New idea, new modus operandi. And it's detached, so it's like you're not even like balls deep in your idea. You're not, it's all or nothing kind of thing. It's not that scorpionic, like, do or die. Let's just give it a go. Let's just try. Why not? It's like that friend who invites you to a yoga class and you're like, all right, cool, I'll just try it. And then you try it and then it's, oh, okay, that's a good, interesting experience. And the next day, boom, Uranus goes direct in Taurus, just pushing its way out of Taurus. It's not really great there. It's been a rocky road, and we over trial and error. And by this time, it's just so beaten up that the emotion, it's like the new way to experience emotion is to not really be that, not necessarily hopeful. It's not to be that naive. It's more like faithful. I'm not naive, but I have faith. Because Saturn is that condensed energy. And Pisces is so not condensed. Yeah, it's like bittersweet moment. Right, Heidik? Right, Heidik? Okay, guys. So what is February like? I just do have to be here. In February, North Node is going over Neptune in Pisces, exactly on the 5th. Look back at that day. That was probably your core message for this whole period of the lunar nodes being in Pisces and Virgo axis. If you're a Pisces, for you, that was where the moment of super, like you were very empowered and just ethereal and bigger than life, but could also be just confused and not knowing, like a lot of disillusion again. And you're ready to stop and look around you. What is going on? And if you're not Pisces, we do have Pisces somewhere in our chart. Have a look what was happening, what house is occupying. That is the message of this entire year and a half for you, because that's when, you know, the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, is kissing North Node. It's just like, what part of the which one was it kissing? Is it the top, the bottom, the side? And yeah, Mars is still retrograde. Pluto is progressing quite well. 2nd degree of Aquarius now. Where is it at the moment? Yeah, so you see how we do have Pluto's hovering over those first 2 degrees throughout the year. So that innovation didn't really develop into anything crazy, but now you know. Now what is the scope? What is the spectrum? What is the negative outcome? What is the positive outcome? What is the price you're paying for this and for that? On one hand, if you're posting 3 times a day, say goodbye to your brain, and also dilution of meaning altogether, and then you become a slave to the algorithm. It's like you change one thing for the same thing, but the boss is different. So, and then in the end of the day, we are defining the landscape of media. People now are these big judges on YouTube. Everyone is like a judge. We should not, like, it went to the extreme where, who cares about the legal system? Let's just do YouTube trials. You see how it can go and metamorphosize into something that you just totally didn't expect. And that's the nature of Aquarius here. Pluto and Aquarius, just the 2nd degree, guys. And then it pulled back, and then it will be going back through Aquarius for the next 15, 20 years. And yeah, there will be a lot of like system versus people. Who do you trust more? Do you trust the system or do you trust the people? Who are these people in their majority? Like, what is their IQ? It's like sometimes. Or maybe you don't even need people anymore. It's all AI now. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. Okay, so what happened in February was a full moon in Leo on the 12th. That was a message of that innovation. And now you're seeing, are you having fun with it? February, are you having fun in what you want to do that is you? Authenticity. Gen Z doesn't like luxury brands anymore. What happened to you that you were like, all right, I'm just going to go off the trend and I'm just going to do me? And what transpired? The next year, we would have Jupiter in Leo, and I'm really excited for that. That will be showing who is who in the hood. Everyone will be so authentic, we would want to puke in our mouths and swallow it. We'll be so authentic. It will be like a new joke, like, your mother is so blah blah, and it'll be like, you're so authentic that you, and then you finish the sentence. Sometimes it's like too authentic. What is too authentic? What is too authentic? It's like a durian fruit of the zodiac. It's too authentic. It's acquired taste for the special ones, kind of thing. Shining the light on this new idea, why you are individuating. What is the cause? What is the higher cause? What are you doing for the community? Is there any community at all? Who are people in your community? Who you trust? Mars in Cancer still retrograde. And it's still clunky. Uranus still in Taurus. Still clunky AF. Let's continue. Okay, and Mars goes direct on the 23rd of February. Yeah, 25th. I'm going by Melbourne, so my dates are end of February, Mars going direct in Cancer. And as it goes direct, it will be checking your emotions again, checking your vitality around emotions. What is taking so much energy out of you? Which memories? which repercussions? What is your emotional IQ? Even parrots are like. So, new moon in Pisces, as we come along, just rehashing, restarting, start your engines, yeah? And the engine now is soaked in comfortable place, lemon and honey, milk and honey, of your inner, precious, sentimental, hopeful agony. You are diving deep while keeping your mind, like seeing with a bigger picture, diving deep into the bigger picture. And it's spiritual as well. So it's some things you can't even describe. Look back at the end of February for yourself, for that new moon in Pisces. That was just, it felt like dimensions were collapsing upon themselves. And for me, that was the moment of deep grieving. We just keep on pushing through. We keep on pushing through, and this Piscean journey has just begun. And that will be over until, because of the North Node, until it looks like July next year. Like an initiation process, the spiritual initiation, and for everyone it will be different, right? We are in March now, and Venus literally goes retrograde the next day, and yeah, on the 3rd of March it's retrograde in Aries. Mars just went direct, now Venus is going retrograde, and you're like, oh my. Now what? The moment of truth, yeah? How are you making money? Who are you making money with? Are you relying on anybody else? Do you like what you're wearing? Do you like what's in the mirror? Do you feel confident? Do you need to pay someone for confidence courses? You know what? Like all this Venusian, and Venus doesn't like to be in Aries. And with a lot of Piscean energy over here, it's give me a break. I don't want to deal with this. It's too much. Yeah. And Mercury is helping to figure it all out in Aries while it's there, and goes retrograde as well on the 15th, yeah? So they come and meet over here while the Sun is conjuncting Saturn in Pisces, which is very reality hits. The reality hits all these aspirations of January, all the innovations, and now it's even more confusion. It's even more, I don't know how, you accept the fact that you don't know anything, and you don't even want to know. You're just like a blind kitten. You follow the spirit, you follow your guide compass, inner compass, without knowing how to read the real compass. For those who you don't know how to read the compass, you just need to rotate it a tiny bit here and there, and then it will align itself, okay? That's just how you do it. For those who don't know. Sorry guys, I'm cheeky today. I just had so much time to relax, and now I'm like back in full throttle. And at the end of March, did I miss something? Oh yeah, there was a total lunar full moon eclipse in Virgo. There we go, there it's coming. Yeah, that was at the 23 degrees of Virgo, the first eclipse of the year. And that was about, how do you ground? How do you ground so that you can handle all of this subtle energy of Pisces, all the spiritual codes and geometries? And that is actually supported with Uranus in Taurus, because it's sextiling North Node and the Sun and Saturn, and trining the South Node while Venus is retrograde. You now are not relying on any systems anymore. They don't work anymore, and your experience has nothing to do with the algorithm. It has nothing to do with what he said, she said. It has nothing to do with anything except what you make it in your toolbox, in the things that you can actually physically use to propel you forward, or just to keep you neutral, or just to keep you at service to yourself, to your health, and because you are at the service of yourself and your health, you already helping everyone because you are vibrating at the okay frequency, and everyone else is lifted because of that. You understand now that if you break yourself for the boss or for the job or for whatever reason, no one is gonna win, and you're gonna be miserable. And look, talking about mental health as well. How was your mental health middle of March during this lunar eclipse? What are your thought processes were? You realize that there's a lot of shit that needs to be cut down. It's not working anymore. Not for you, at least. Maybe working for her, or for him, but not for you. And you realize that everyone is unique, and no one is a cookie cutter version of anything except for what they want it to be. You now are applying your own individuated state to your life. And that's what I like about 2025. The release of outmoded BS. And yeah, Mercury goes retrograde straight up, and the night ruler of Virgo, revision time, 16th of March. I'm jumping the date, so just put it plus or minus 1 day. Middle of March, revision time, big time, and we are in the eclipse window. And at the end of March, Venus is, you see how they like rolling back in together, Venus and Mercury in Aries, early degrees of Aries, rolling back into Pisces as the sun goes over, back into Pisces, and now boom, Venus is retrograding over Neptune, and that's the aha moment that you didn't write on the piece of paper. It was just the wind chimes sent you a message from the spirit, and you're like, oh, I actually was so simple. I didn't even realize how simple it all was. Congratulations. It is simple, but it's not, because you have to cut some things out, and that's never an easy decision. But sometimes, like, you don't even have to make a decision. It's Pisces. If you don't make any decision, like, life will make decisions for you. And if you really allow and you trust, it will actually be the best decision, the best outcome, because it will be highest. That's the highest note of Pisces, is that universal, galactic love field of pure unconditional love. Like that ideal of the ideal, not man-made ideal, but the actual truth. Yeah. Very philosophical here with the Pisces energy. And then on the last day of March, we do have a partial solar eclipse in Aries, like a beginning, like a sprouting, and it's a new moon in Aries. I like it. I really do. Yeah. End of March. And that's like where the surfboard, you try to bend over your knee, you don't know where it's gonna crack, and then like you kind of keep pushing it, and then it's like in the unexpected moment, a jolt of energy, and as it cracks, it say your previous life, kiss it goodbye, and the new beginning is here. A new book is here, not just a chapter. This is a new book. Let's try something else, guys. Let's try something else. And as Mars is trining, all this energy is trining Saturn, you just do a little step at a time with a revised toolbox, and then it's beautiful. I like this energy. You will not believe this, but what happens next is, oh my goodness, Neptune, the giant of the ocean, got out of the water for the first time, like the ancient prerequisite to the dinosaur, looking around, the fish out of the water. Looking around, where am I? And now it entered Aries. Next year we do have a conjunction of Saturn. Saturn will pick up, and it will almost reach Neptune. Then they will go both retrograde in Pisces around this time in November, and then they will go back out of Pisces into Aries again. So this is an important moment. Every astrology, you probably heard it a million times if you like listening to these videos. Like every astrology is like a broken record, says the same thing. But this is the prerequisite to the dinosaurs, fish out of the water, looking around like for the first time out of the water. Can't breathe, but I'm gonna try. And Neptune is trying that. Yeah, the dust is settling in a new way, and it's exciting. depending on what star sign you are and what your moon is and this and that. But at least it's exciting for people like Aries. It's like you don't even explain yourself anymore. You don't need to explain your spiritual journey to anybody. You just do it. And interestingly enough, I don't want to get too like newsworthy stuff, but we do have a lot of like religion based thing happening this year, and that's the signature, one of the ways that Neptune and Aries manifest people really believing something. And Aries doesn't like to negotiate. It's not too diplomatic, let's just put it this way. And interesting transit during the end of March era is also the sextile between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, both Saturn and Uranus at the end of their cycles within those signs. And that is that maturity in action. The heartfelt action is better than a action that has no intention behind it. And here, whatever you were working on and doing and experiencing was profound. It was not like a wishy-washy thing. It was profound. It was, if you take a leap, it's like a giant's leap. It's got like that macro feel to it. And that is what created more self-confidence, even if you do make a mistake and there is a misstep. It just creates that epicness to it. It creates that vastness to it, that the battle of the titans. But it's not a battle, it's more martial arts sort of energy, where it is an art. It doesn't have the lack of thought. It has, when you let go and you dance and you let go, you close your eyes and all your emotions are perfect. Even if, like, to maybe the third person you do look like an idiot. To you, as you close your eyes and you lose yourself and dance, it's that bliss, it's that enigma, it's that sublime. This is what Saturn sextile Uranus in those earthy, watery signs. It's just beautiful energy. And whatever you were doing back then helped you to be, of course, helped you to be where you are now, because you merged yourself with the music, with the rhythm. It's a new status quo and you have adapted to it, and now you are working like it becomes like a beautiful rhythm. It's a rhythm to it, and you know exactly how to move with the rhythm, through the rhythm, and create new forms of expression here. Yeah, as you feel it. It's not just like a dummy. You feel it and you are alive. And as we move into April, we do have, Mercury goes direct in April out of Pisces. There's a lot of Piscean energy, and now the decorations change, and it actually feels like new life is finally here. There is a full moon in Libra just after that new moon partial solar eclipse, and now you know exactly what to do, and you know now what this Piscean territory is all about, where the North Node is and still is to this day until next year, mid-next year. Now you are like, okay, I've got my night vision goggles on and I can see the unseen, I can engineer the unseen, and I can create new structure, new life. This is not like it was last year, the year before. This is the prerequisite to this new chapter, as the signs, the big planets are changing signs. Neptune has changed sign, Pluto has changed sign, and then Uranus is like at the end. Jupiter will be changing sign soon. So it's like a lot of like a birth. The birth is happening. A birth is happening, and now you're checking in with your friends, with your mates, with your lovers, with your lover, with your spouse. How are you doing? Full moon in Libra. How are you doing? Are you still there? Jack! Where are you? Oh God. And yeah, Venus is direct in Pisces, and there's a lot of change happening in April. So yeah, Mars enters Leo again. It's slowly but surely getting out of its shadow. Soon, 19th of April, it's in Leo again. Thank goodness me. Now it's time to really enjoy this new life, this new process. Enjoy this year. You like, okay, this year is here. The new year, we've dealt with all this dilution, dissolving, with all those things, and now the new year is here. Beautiful. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to make it work? Absolutely new territory here with Mercury just went over Neptune, and it will be going over Aries, yeah, and some ideas are definitely happening at the end of April with this sextile, Mercury sextiling Pluto and trining Mars in Leo, Pluto in Aquarius, Mars in Leo. It's all new, but now it makes sense. Now it's, I can see now because I have allowed myself not to be able to see but to feel, and because I feel, I have grounded, and now from this grounded place I can move forward. I now know what I am doing in this new landscape. Saturn and North Node are meeting in the sky, and you're hired. You're hired at your mission. You are progressing in a way that is disciplined while also being emotionally detached. Pisces. Saturn is discipline, emotional detachment is Pisces. Throwing noodles against the wall, see what sticks, but you just keep on throwing and the noodles keep coming. Yeah. And then we have a new moon in Taurus, while Uranus is still in Taurus, and that kind of gives you that hope. And North Node in Pisces is sextile in Taurus, so we are progressing, even if this year feels like there's a lot of bad things happening around the world or whatever. I don't want to label it. That's the thing. We've learned not to label. That's actually this is the resolution of the year. Do not label. Brands, it's over. Branding, labeling, forget about it. I guess this is gonna learn the hard way, don't we? And now Venus is finished in Pisces. It's entering Aries, going over Neptune, and we value now what we believe. And why we believe that? Because we have gone through a process of becoming, and we will continue on this process no matter how uncomfortable and confusing it gets along the way. Boom, Pluto goes retrograde in May already. We're in May, goes retrograde, and then the whole innovation, let's make it new, like this year has begun. But we don't notice it because Pluto works in a hidden way. We don't really notice it. As we started with the opposition between Pluto and Mars, we had rehashed that again, end of April, beginning of May. We rehashed that, and maybe we were focusing more on our own expression rather than on all this innovation and all this new status quo in the world and all this AI. Now we are seeing, maybe I like it, maybe I don't like it, maybe I'm a fan, maybe I'm not a fan. We're finding our own authentic voice within all of this, and we are ready to prove our point. How did that go for you? And in middle of May, we do have full moon in Scorpio. And at this time, already it's May, and it's the precipice before the real change begins. This is the time when we are really checking deep within ourselves. What is this that actually we aspire to have, to be, to share in our life? It's nothing superficial anymore. It's deep, confronting, shadow work. All these words that were words, now they're not just words. there is content within the words, and that's layers and layers of content. There's layers of contexts. And that full moon was loosely, like the moon as it was gaining momentum to become full, it squared Mars in Leo, it squared Pluto, and there was this breaking point, I guess, between the contrast, black, white, red, green, yellow, whatever, the contrasting. You now see the contrasts. You see the contrast, and you're not afraid of the contrast. Actually, it's good that you can see the contrast and put a line in the sand and really get it and really get your own psychology. That was ground in all of these feelings, yeah? Because Mercury has just entered in Taurus, just grounded a little bit. That locomotive train keeps going. Saturn keeps being disciplined, and that maturity that arises from really wide perceptive field where you don't do anything extra, you just do what is needed, and you feel every step of the way to the fullest. It's like a ballet school vibe to me, to be honest. Like repeating the same thing until you have this. It's like a muscle memory place, but for all layers of your being, for your psychology, for your emotions, for your libido, your capacity to take things in, your capacity to flush things out. I like that May month for really that line in the sand, that simplicity within the complexity, within confusion, that focus. Jupiter in Gemini is squaring North Node in Pisces, 19th of May. You're happy to look at things from a different perspective. You're happy to feel dumb learning something new. And perhaps there's something that's necessary that you should learn. There's something necessary you should discover. The puzzle pieces that are under the rug somewhere and you're looking for them, and you have to inhale some dust on the way, and that's okay. Like that vibe. You are okay with being proactive in putting the pieces together, and that makes it's like you now have a roadmap on how to build something, but not just like a slave builds a pyramid or whatever. I don't think slaves build the pyramids, but I don't know. Maybe another example, like an ant that's carrying this heavy piece, like a leaf or whatever, and you don't know, like you just see the next thing. Now you see the roadmap. You zoom out and you know exactly how to build your empire. You know exactly how to build your future. You know exactly how to sustain yourself and be independent and be self-sufficient and be also remaining yourself, remaining authentic and true to yourself, how you are, who you are as a person. You're not just a faceless ant in this big place. And there's some queen of ants. You are a human being. You are a person in this new landscape, and you know exactly what the map is. And that's where we are in May. And while all that is happening, it's okay to feel dumb. It's okay to feel like, okay, I don't know how to do this. Let me find out. I don't know how to do this. Let me ask. I don't know how to do this. Let me interact and suss it out. Yeah? It's not like you're just creating things out of your own head. You're interacting with the world. You are out there in the world testing ideas, and it's okay that you're making mistakes. It's actually good that you're making mistakes. So it's like that typical mindset coach stuff, right? But now you are the mindset coach for yourself. Then we have a new moon in Gemini, and now as May finishes, this is what we've been waiting for. Now we have that preview of what Uranus will be like in Gemini as it's finishing in Taurus. We have new moon in Gemini, Mercury is there, Jupiter is finishing in Gemini. This new moon is trining Pluto, that is already on the 3rd degree and is retrograding still. Saturn has just entered Aries and almost conjunct Neptune while sextiling Pluto. So that is putting Pluto on the roadmap, and that was working in the background, giving us that hum of collective consciousness evolution. It feels like everyone is starting to wake up, and they are radically doing that because of what they see. So all possibilities left and center, and now the pieces of the puzzle still being collected, but now it's, wow, this feels new. This feels like exciting. This is the most exciting since Saturn's ingress into Aquarius back in 2020, I think. And it's like a jolt of fresh energy that will return again next year. So this is the beginning of that new territory. And we don't even know how big the puzzle is. We don't know. We think we have 1,000 pieces. We actually have 1,000,000 pieces. That's exhilarating. That's that feeling, standing at the edge of the skyscraper, looking at this whole new futuristic city, and you realize how small you are, but how important you are at the same time, and how your mindset is so important. As we go into June, and we have full moon in Sag on the 11th, as Venus has already entered its rulership placement in Taurus. We have Sag full moon. Jupiter has entered Cancer, squaring now Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries. This is new, but I feel, just not to get so dry up in this, it could be hostile. It's definitely not a soft energy, but Jupiter gives us that softness. It is like our saving grace, really. It's giving us that softness back and reminding us of that Mars retrograde in Cancer. It's healing that place. It's healing Cancer. It's exalted in Cancer, and it's reminding us that loving place, you are your own divine mother, your own divine father. You are the alpha and omega, and your pillows match your socks, and your carpet is plush, and your chicken soup is lovely, and you can just roll your curtains down and let the puzzle pieces lay there in the backyard while you just come back to your senses a little bit more. Refreshing. It's also in conjunct that Pluto in Aquarius. So now, yeah, it was exciting to hear all these new ideas and to see how society is changing. But now, water off a duck's back. You're doing you. You're doing you. Actually, it will metamorphosize this you doing you, or me doing me, whatever. Next year, it will be so much of everyone doing themselves that we need to come back to the community. We need to actually relay back to a bigger picture, because it's just so much wind outside that at one point, no matter how comfortable we feel by the fireplace, we would have to get more wood later. And we need to go outside, and we need to interact with the whole world. Are you still gonna be, like, I guess pajama chic is great for now, but is this still acceptable? Or is this whole entropy of the world where you cozying up in your pajamas are just too normal? You're too real. You're too authentic. I have no idea how that's going to pan out, but like we will have a look. We'll have a look definitely at how 2026 sort of will look like. We'll look at the first 6 months, because it's just, what's the point of going all the way far, especially with such a detailed analysis of yours truly. Okay, then, yeah, Mercury is that messenger in Cancer, saying mid-June that come back to your senses, come back to your chicken soup, come back to your hot tea and to your salt bath. Just relax and just enjoy the comfort that you have created for yourself in this chaotic new territory. And that full moon in Sagittarius tells us that be optimistic, look at the brighter side and cozy up. Allow grace, allow acceptance, allow comfort, allow Mother Mary energy, allow the healing to happen. How will you just be still, rest. There will be time. You still have time, yeah? And then Mars is finally out of Leo, thank goodness me, and it's going back to business in Virgo on 18th of June. Yeah, it's like people become a bit more self-centered. At the same time as they get cozy, they help and become of service to others. And that's like that kind of a bit of a, in conjunct, yeah? Is my thing, is it in demand? Is this what I really am helpful with? Do they really want my cookies that I baked? Do they like my grandmother's recipe? Questions arise. How do you adapt? What needs to be done today so that tomorrow we're not gonna go hungry with a full garage full of cookies there that we want to sell? Yeah. And then end of June, 25th or 26th of June, we have a new moon in Cancer now, in conjunct that Pluto and squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Do you still believe in what you're doing? Do you need a kick in the do you need to kick something off center to recalibrate in what you're doing? And look guys, Uranus is just about to leave Taurus and enter Gemini. It's an uncomfortable truth that is bigger than you, that is asking you to go further, even further, and not being afraid to question yourself and question your life. Is this what you're doing? Is this what you are? Is it still... Of course, what you are is always valid because you're a beating heart, you're a soul. But how are you... What is your place in the world? What are you doing and what you are actually supposed... What's your mission? What is your mission here? And North Node is still in Pisces. It's just beginning. Higher ground, higher universal truth. What is your true mission of love? And Mars is in Virgo, of service. Trining this new moon in Cancer as Jupiter just entered Cancer, squaring Saturn in Aries, this like bulldozing for the cause, yeah, and it will reunite again with Neptune a bit later. They will dip back into Pisces, a bit of a revision. That's what we're doing right now, but end of June was that aha moment and very uncomfortable for some people, that's for sure. Venus enters Gemini in July, early July, going over Uranus and entering Gemini. And look guys, as we speak, literally that moment, beginning of July, Venus hopped over Uranus and then Uranus entered Gemini as well. And now we are in the same place as we were in terms of Uranus being in Gemini. Now it's retrograde in Gemini. And on the 8th of July, it was exactly the same place. July. We are in November now. July, end of June, July. This is where you really applying these adaptation skills, adaptability skills to the hidden layer of your mission and how uncomfortable it can feel. It's a sense of relief as well because you do not follow false light anymore. You do not beat around the bush anymore. You do not follow false goals anymore. You're clearing a lot of stuff out. Mars in Virgo about to conjunct South Node in Virgo, deciphering discernment, understanding what works, what doesn't, what's toxic, what's healthy. And it's about your consumption of media, Gemini, information. Now you say block or unsubscribe, and you just do it like it's your job. You're really clearing your mind because you want to feel comfortable. Jupiter in Cancer, you want to feel you want to feel like you want to chill. You just want to chill. It's not even, it's July and we want to chill big time. And Neptune goes retrograde around this time, and it will inch backwards into Pisces, and so will soon Saturn. Full moon in Capricorn is happening around this time, and I guess just checking in onto this new system, how this new system supports your comfort and emotional well-being while still being true to yourself. Even if it feels uncomfortable, as long as it's true to yourself, it's fine. If it feels like it's not what everyone else is doing, that's actually even better, because you are redefining the rules. You are that one person that redefining the rules, and then it will catch like fire, and everyone will be, it becomes like a invisible virality, just rippling through consciousness. I love it. Saturn also goes retrograde around this time, mid-July, and July is like a month of press play. You just press play and shuffle, because Uranus is in Gemini. Now we are brave. We are brave here. There's no need to figure it out. It's like kinetic sand. It figures itself out as you just press play. Mercury is going retrograde in Leo, end of July. Fair enough. As this new shuffle is happening, we are rethinking our authenticity. Have we thought everything through? Or are you reading off the script that you wrote, or ChatGPT wrote, or whatever? Or are you speaking from yourself? Are you speaking? What are you saying? Things like that. That's where we figure it out. What do we actually say? What is the message? What do we say? What do we represent? Why are we doing it? Things like that. And now, new moon in Leo on the 24th, while Mercury is retrograding. That's another chance for us to start afresh, to maybe make our old dream come true, and do it in a new way, and show people your colors, and maybe the colors you didn't show before, and now you're showing them, and everyone is, wow, is that really you? Have you really made that? Have you really created that? And you're like, yeah, it's me. And that's me, and that's really not me, because I want to create something else, but I'm just doing this for now because this is what I've been doing in the back burner for some time. But now is the time. Now is the time. And it lands beautifully. It just works in the most exciting new way. And you're like, oh my God, why did I have to wait for 10 years to do that? Like a bittersweet moment here. Okay, August, full moon in Aquarius on the 9th, around 9th. And Mercury is still retrograding in Leo, and Venus is about to conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. There is this moment of coming home and calming your mind, knowing where the peaks and valleys are in your mind, and knowing what really soothes you today. In August, Mars is opposing Saturn. Mars is in Libra, doesn't like to be there. Saturn doesn't like to be in Aries. We wish they were on the opposite ends to each other, but they are where they are. And now you see how your gifts, your creative gifts, your voice, your place in the society, your innovative ideas, Uranus and Gemini, how are they being, how are they reciprocated? What is the test of time here? What is actually the feedback you're getting, and how you are revisiting? Are you creating any tweaks, or are you leaving it as is? Like, my question to you, early August, did you have the final brush stroke, or did you still muddy it up a bit? What was that? What was your stance? And that will say a lot about the way you think about your authenticity and how you communicate that. And also how it makes you feel on the most sensitive part of yourself. Yeah. That is also Jupiter in Cancer and Venus in Cancer loosely trining North Node in Pisces. So that's like another revision of the floodgates, healing those floodgates, feeling those emotions that you really allowed to, whether you bottled them and now they're flowing and bleeding out in this kind of silky way, or since January when Mars was retrograde in Cancer, or you now just watching this floodgates, this damp breaking, and this is now the new norm. This is the new way things go. You are unhinged, creative powerhouse with your own good and bad days, but that's okay. That's okay. You have a blueprint. You have a map. Well, then at the end of August we have new moon in Virgo, followed by, interestingly enough, ingression of Saturn back into Pisces, and that is September. And this is where things start to get interesting, because we now are revisiting the final chapter of Saturn in Pisces. Saturn has been in Pisces for about 3 years, and from September up until, up until February, I feel like next year, 2026, it will be all this time in Pisces. And it will get out of Pisces on 15th of February. All right. So let's go back to the beginning of September. And that's when Saturn has ingressed back into Pisces. Big lesson from September until mid-February. So the September to February is similar to January, February, March in a way. And that grief of the past life, grief of how it was before and now it's different. But it's also a relief. It's also like that feeling, thank goodness it's over. Like the credits are rolling and you've just watched a war movie or something. It was like great, but you are all like, oh my God. So that's the final act, I guess, that we have to rewatch of Saturn, the disciplinarian of the zodiac. Oh, not the zodiac, of the planet. The gigantic planet that is like in one way, I hope not, but it could become like a prison. So is your spirituality your prison? Pisces, right? Is your confusion your prison? Is your mental health your prison? Like this is, or are you being disciplined? Are you being a good boy and a good girl and you get out quicker and sooner? Oh God, bad example, but yeah. And just speeding it up a little bit, September 7th, total lunar eclipse in Pisces. What is your prison? Are you willingly there? Are you unwillingly there? How the hell are you going to get out? When are you going to get out? What is stopping you and what is promoting you forward? What do you have to rethink and redo and create a new set of ideas, right? Ideologies to help you to get out of your limitations. And then a new moon, a solar eclipse in Virgo on the 21st of September, as we are going through the eclipse window, which is sealing. It's sealing new belief systems. It's trying to make sense of this new belief system, of this new aspiration, of this new inspiration and diligent disciplinarian approach to make your dreams come true anew, again, anew. It feels like it's a year of a snake, and it does feel like this scaly thing. Fresh skin, old skin, back and forth, detoxing, being inspired, and this energy of the serpent. Warm in the sun, more active. Less sun, less active. Feminine codes. Hydra constellation, as Jupiter is over here in Cancer. Empowerment of women, but not like this, yeah, we're women, like, but actually power through the femininity, power through letting go, power through love, power through fertility, through creation, co-creation with the universe in an individuated way, in the sovereign free way, in the new earth. I'm very excited what people will do with this next year as we are healing these emotions, yeah. And then October, we have a full moon in Aries. Woo. And now Mars is in its home sign, ancient home sign, the night domicile of Mars, Scorpio, and Mercury is right there. Now we are really practicing our art and craft of acting from your full feeling. In Cancer, in the beginning of the year, it was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling, but I'm not like, okay, now I'm inspired, but what do I do? And now it's like, I know what to do. I am inspired, but I know that inspiration only is not enough. I have to actually put in the work. But now it's very measured. You become a master. It's like a masterful energy, the IQ that is mastered, the King of Cups energy. And we will be approaching the Grand Water Trine as October progresses. And I'll show you exactly that. At the end of October, we are having a Grand Water Trine between Mars, yeah, you see here, Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, Neptune is already in Pisces again, back in its home sign, retrograde, Saturn retrograde there with Pisces, trining, and Jupiter. Jupiter is the last leg of the trine, the grand trine, baby, of emotion, where, yes, there are some disappointments, yes, there can be people who still ghost us, but zero tolerance for that. And you don't even have to say it out loud, you just wish them well. Emotional intelligence mastery. And yes, we are now where we are. We are now where we are. Today is 7th of November, guys. We finally made it to where we are. You know what? I'm just gonna scroll through the transits and pick a random date and just, not necessarily so random, but I will see where to stop. And we'll just have a look. What would that be like? What to look forward to? Without necessarily attaching to any particular transit. But before we do that, look at Mars in Sagittarius. Mercury is about to go retrograde. It will be retrograde from Sag to Scorpio. Oh. This cringy thing is still happening. Uranus in Taurus. If you want more details on that, I do have a beautiful video, the last dip of Uranus and Taurus, really smashing video. Make sure you watch that to know what to expect. So yeah, Uranus will be dipping back into Taurus on the 9th, around the 9th, as Mercury goes retrograde, yeah? So we have time, guys. I honestly, up until, sorry for the many mouse clicks, let me just put on my psychic vision. This is how I read charts. I'm a visual person, I'm an artist, I'm a musician and free spirit, so I don't follow any rules. Well, you learn the rules to follow them for some time, but when you're good, you just improvise. So that's how I roll. At least it's not boring. Okay, in January there will be a heavy Capricorn thing that will be Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars in Capricorn. Squaring Chiron in Aries, we will be like, okay, enough of this retrograde stuff, enough of this taking time. I want to do stuff. I want to actually achieve things. And then you'll be learning, like relying on your learnings, right? South Node in Virgo, of what to actually not to do while you're trying to do something big, something ambitious. That was a really good line. And these guys, Saturn and Neptune, are direct by this time. When do they go direct? So Neptune goes direct on December 11th, not so far off. And Saturn just before that, on the 29th of November. So like this month, Saturn goes direct. Hee-haw! Yay! So we were in January. That would be like a good thing if you really want to get stuff done. January is great. And you'll be so wise. You'll be like a sage. So wise. So cool. It's not where we were in January 2025. It's like this. Oh gosh, look at this beautiful sextile with exactly what I was saying. January is that mastery time. You're mastering it. Might not know what to do, but I don't think so. But you will definitely know what not to do. And that's the saving grace here. 21st of January, that's like looks like a new moon to me. Yeah, oh wow, that looks like crazy something here. Yeah, new moon in Capricorn on 19th of January. And then a lot of Aquarius here. And then we do have eclipses in February. Yeah, right after the full moon in Leo on the 1st of February, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. Love it. So yeah, we do have a new party. That's when you book a space for the event, and it's all Pisces style. And now there's people in edgy outfits come in, and this is the Aquarius party now. Because soon the nodes will change signs. I will make sure I'll cover that for you. And that will be a new axis. North node will be in Aquarius and South node will be in Leo. And this new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius will be the beautiful baby's breath in that direction. Oh gosh. Yeah, there will be a bit of a change. And Pisces, you will never be the same. You are the people who went through the most transformation in 2025. You came back to Earth, Pisces. And here we go. 20th of April or 20th of February, these guys finally conjunct. Before they were like almost, but not. And in February, they are conjunct. As they are conjoining, the moon is also there. And that's when Mercury will be retrograding in Pisces, feeling like those credits are rolling now. People are leaving the cinema, and we are just remembering everything that happened to us from January 2025 to 2026 in February. That's when we will really see what the whole 2025 was about and why we're feeling this way now. Could be maybe similar to what we were feeling before, but the meaning is different. A full moon lunar eclipse on the March 3rd in Virgo, as Mars has just entered Pisces, and Pluto is in a new territory, 4 degrees of Aquarius. New set of collective repercussions. And here we now know how to dissolve it. We now know how to work with the unseen, work with the things we cannot change. We know that what is most important is our own inner chemistry, our own alchemy. That is the question. And I just want to point when Jupiter will be entering Leo, because that will be a new saga that I'm looking forward to. And that would be, that would be literally as Venus enters Leo, it goes halfway through Leo, then Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces just before entering Leo, not quite entering Leo, going retrograde, and then Jupiter goes into Leo. whatever your emotional landscape in 2025 that was healing, you will have time to revise it again and really nourish it again and think over everything. It might look like maybe many astrologers will be saying, oh, there's everything new, but emotionally wise, it's a story that is very long, that is not ending, and there's nothing new under the sun. But the way you create meaning with it, the way that you feel more of yourself in it, that's what is the golden nugget here. So 2025, letting go, South Node in Virgo, and by the time Jupiter enters Leo on the 1st of July 2026, the nodes are also about to change signs. Let me show you exactly when. By the end of July 2026, they change signs, 28th of July. And Sun will be on Jupiter in Leo. Illumination, the crowning, the Pharaoh becoming a Pharaoh, a little kid becoming a Pharaoh. You are the little kid that's becoming a Pharaoh. And all your tantrums are worth their weight in gold. You don't judge yourself anymore. You're a Pharaoh. You are the king and the queen. Are you going to be whipping your whip, or are you going to let the people go? Rehash it again next year, see what happens. But I'm here, don't worry guys, I'm back. Thank you for listening, for sharing, subscribing, liking. Be kind in the comments, as you always are. I love you. Bye.